this is Roger Bumpus, the actor, not the real person. I'm the voice of Squidward Tentacles on SpongeBob SquarePants, and I'm saying you're listening to DJ Danny. Of course, I am too, but then I'm on DJ Danny, so I'm actually contributing to what you're listening to. So have a great day. Oh, I think I hurt myself.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019. Welcome to the DJ Danny Show on HamiltonRadio.net, stream HR2. I'm your host, DJ Danny. I'm joined and honored to be in the studio with Scotty Schwartz.
Hello.
Hello. Everyone knows him from The Christmas Story. And I'm sorry, what character did you play?
Flick.
And what is Flick known for?
He gets triple dog dare to get the tongue stuck to the pole.
And we're going to talk about that a lot later. But I also wanted to just give a huge shout out because today, normally I don't do shows on birthdays, especially for my mother. But this was honored tribute for her as well. So I want to just give a shout out to my mother, Sandy. So happy birthday, Sandy. We love you here.
Happy birthday,
here
Sandy.
At Hamilton Radio, and everybody out there. Make sure you guys give her wishes as well because this is a great day. And I have fun with you. I mean, we were just at PJ's downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Why don't you just tell me, first of all, did you enjoy the food?
Yeah, the
buttermilk pancakes?
The buttermilk pancakes were pretty good, yeah.
Okay. I mean, no, I'm just asking because it's a different place. You know what I mean? Like, do you have a PJ's Pancakes in California?
No.
Exactly. So it's a different place, definitely. And I wanted to just make sure you enjoyed what you ate. I know you ate everything very fast because you were hungry, which is a good thing.
Yeah. But bacon was good. The buttermilk pancakes were fine. Coffee was good, or the hot tea, I should say.
Yeah, you had the coffee at Dunkin'.
Coffee at Dunkin', you betcha.
And, I think what was really nice about it, though, is even though you went there and we all, you met my family and everything, with socializing, getting to know each other before the show, like the cast, the whole crew of PJ's Pancakes wanted a picture with you. I mean, how did that make you feel?
Well, it's always nice. I mean, nice to have fans and stuff like that. And what's nice is they didn't, stop me in the middle of eating. They waited until we all got done.
Most definitely. Well, they were trying to make sure that they weren't going to stop you while you were eating.
Well, there are people that stop you while you're eating.
Oh, I bet you that. But I was the one that was in charge of that, kind of. So they were like, we talked to you about this. When can we get him? And I was like, let him finish eating. Let us talk, blah, blah, blah. Before we leave after the check, then I'll get us ready for a picture.
You should have gotten a free check. We took a picture. They should, at least give you some pancakes, for God's sakes.
I was going to say they should have comped your meal, but you know what? It's okay. It's totally fine because they enjoyed the experience, meeting you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to also get the exposure on their Instagram. Even if you don't have social media, they could just put Scott Schwartz on their tag and people will know who it is. Right?
Okay.
Well,
it makes people happy, why not?
Why aren't you a huge social media guru?
Just not in my makeup. I mean, I do Facebook a little bit, and I do have an Instagram I think I actually have, and I know I have a Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use them very much. It's just something else to take up my time.
Okay.
And I'm fine having my Facebook. It's mostly, people that I know or people that I meet at the shows and stuff like that. There are some fans on my Facebook. I just don't get crazy with it.
Well, I do want to definitely just, again, since my mother, and it's her birthday, she's the one that actually got me in touch with you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't remember, you sent her a autograph in the mail, and then she reached out to you and she said thank you. Then I reached out to you because I found out what your Facebook profile information was, and I was like, I'd love to have you on my show sometime. So couple months maybe back versus now, not that
Well, yeah,
long.
we tried once. It just didn't work timing-wise, and then, so this trip...
We tried it a few times, though, I think.
Yeah.
Because I had you call in a couple of times on my Christmas party.
Yeah, I called, yeah. But I didn't actually get to come and sit here in the studio.
Yeah, now you're in the studio with Mrs. Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
If everybody can see, she is a mini teacup chihuahua.
Yes, she is.
She is such a cutie. And
so, yes, I don't have a growth. This is actually my baby girl, my doggy, my baby.
That's his baby girl. I love that. My friend Johnny, also the one that you wrote the autograph for. Johnny C, the pizza guy. He'd like to know if you like pizza. So that's a question first.
Yeah.
Okay. And he wants to know, is the Cali Pizza week?
For the most part, yes. There's a couple of good places that we have.
You got him talking. Good job, Johnny.
Yeah, no, there's Mulberry Street Pizza, which was owned by the actress Kathy Moriarty and her husband, they got divorced, whatever. He got the pizzerias. But it's a much more New York style, big slices, thin crust.
Oh,
you
New
know.
York style. Okay.
Yeah, New York, New Jersey, East Coast style. Then there's another place called East Coast Pizza, which is not about 5 miles from my house up in Simi Valley, California. And he's from, right next to Hershey Park.
Pennsylvania?
He's up in PA, yeah.
Okay.
So that's where the owner is from originally. And he makes a decent slice of East Coast pizza. You know, if Johnny's going to ask me the next question, he's going to be disappointed because I don't know your pizzeria, dude. But my favorite pizzeria in New Jersey is Dominic's Pizzeria at the Somerville Circle. And I've been going there since 1973.
Well, he probably wants to try it. He's a pizza critic.
Really?
Yes.
Dominic's Pizzeria at the Somerville Circle.
There you go, Johnny. He just told you where to go.
It is outstanding pizza. I think he's got all the different kinds now.
Yeah.
He used to be before, it's pepperoni, cheese, mushroom sauce. That's about all you got. And now there's like 17 different versions of whatever.
Is it like included more meats-wise vegetables?
Got everything.
Or just
Got everything.
So everything under the sun.
Everything under the sun.
Cauliflower?
Oh, I think so.
Oh, wow.
My favorite is I get the baked ziti pizza.
Oh,
So he
okay.
puts- he put-
Vodka rigatoni pizza. Kind of like that stuff?
I don't know.
Okay.
You'd have to ask. But
Probably have that. He said he's putting it on his list.
Cool. When
So
you go
he
in,
will-
the guy that owns it, his name is Vito, and I've known him forever. And
Tell him Scotty Schwartz sent you.
absolutely, and he puts the ziti on top of the pizza, and then puts a little bit more sauce, and then melts some cheese on top. Oh my God! I mean,
Okay, I think I should have
my
just gotten you pizza.
my arteries are like closing.
Instead of pancakes. I'm sorry. You
had-
sound like you're in
I
heaven
had
right now.
I had 2 slices over there for lunch before I came down to you. So.
Oh, okay. All right. No, that's good. I'm glad you had it. He said he's never been to Dominic's, but he wants to know, is it too far from DeLucia or Somerset and Raritan?
Yeah, it's not that far from there at all.
It's not far from there at all.
No, they're within 5 minutes of driving, I guess, of each other.
Well, I think
The Dominic's is at the Somerville Circle, so you can't miss it.
Well, I hope
phenomenal.
you definitely try that, Johnny.
I actually,
because
I had Vito bring me 10 pies just like a year ago during the Chiller Theater weekend, which we'll talk about later. It's a convention, pop culture convention.
Oh, we are going to talk about
And
that.
I
don't worry.
I had him bring the pizzas up just for the celebrities on Friday night because the show ends at 11.
Yeah.
So everybody gets stuck there and everybody's starving.
I'm starving.
So I started bringing the
'Cause they don't
pizzas
have good
around
food either at
to the
that, yeah.
celebrities.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't for customers, just celebrities. So like I went over to Henry Winkler. And I'm like, I got pizzas. What do you want? He's like, oh, give me, whatever it was, mushroom. Okay, fine. And I gave him 2 slices, and we went around the room to other people, whatever. He wouldn't even let me leave. I need 2 more slices. Where did you get that? Oh, my God, this is great pizza. Okay, fine.
Oh, my
So then I
gosh.
went into the other room, and I'm giving 2 slices here, 2 slices. And they're like, this is great pizza. I'm like, yeah, I know, because you're from L.A., and you get crappy pizza. And this is good pizza, okay?
Well, that sounds amazing. I'd like to go there. It's in Somerset.
Yeah, it's at the Somerville Circle. Just go up
Somerville.
206. You'll run right into the Somerville Circle.
Is that where Chester is?
No, Chester's past the Somerville Circle.
Okay.
It's another
Got you.
25
Remember, I told you
minutes.
I'm still learning how to drive.
Absolutely.
So eventually I'll learn there, but I think that's amazing, and he's going to try that. And Justina Ford, she said that your puppy is so cute.
Oh, thank you. Miss Elizabeth is awesome.
I think that she is asleep in his arms right now.
Yes.
Especially.
She is just taking it all in.
She's tired from a crazy, hectic day, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's amazing that you're here again. I'm excited to have you. Scott, I want to start a little bit just at the beginning because everybody knows where you've been, acting and stuff. When did you first get into acting? How old were you?
I was about 8 and a half, I guess.
Okay.
I was going to a movie club with my dad from the time I was about 5 years, a little after 5 years old.
Okay.
And it was in Manhattan, and we would go and you'd watch old movies. So it was all older people. There were
So not like a drive-through.
No.
drive-in,
This
okay.
was a little basement that they had converted into like a 30-seat, movie house.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Then it was
yeah.
a club on every Saturday. And a couple of years in, one of the members came over to me and said, hey, I'm doing a Yoo-Hoo chocolate drink commercial down in Miami. I think you'd be great at it. You're very outgoing. Would you like to come and do this? Sure. I asked Dad, whatever. So ended up doing it. And on the flight home, he's like, you're great. You got to keep going. So he got us an appointment with a casting director. And then that became interviewing with 2 different agents who wanted to sign me right away. And we asked her, which one you think would be better, whatever. And so she said this one, and that's what I went with. And it was the Carson Adler Agency. Well, actually, it was back then it was just Marion Adler. She was at another agency. And within like 6 months, though, she ended up leaving that place and forming her own with this other woman named Nancy, and it became Carson Adler.
So it was Marion and Nancy that you were still partnered with, like you were under their agency.
I was with Marion the whole way through.
Okay.
You know, I just moved with her from one agency to another, and they formed the Carson Adler Agency, which is still there today, 250 West 57th Street. It's still there, and Nancy's still working.
Is Marianne still there?
No, Marion, she left us years ago.
Oh, okay.
She's no longer with us, but Nancy's still there, and I still talk to her every so often. I shoot her an email and say hi, and she's on my Facebook and whatever. But that's pretty much how it started, you know. And it was commercials, and then off Broadway, and then Broadway, and more commercials.
You
and more
did off Broadway or Broadway?
I did. I did a play called All the Way Home.
Okay.
At the Equity Library Theater, which was 103rd and Riverside.
Is this in California or New York?
No, this is New York.
Okay, this is New York.
103rd and Riverside.
Okay.
That's about almost as New York as like Broadway and 45th, you know. So off Broadway is 103rd and Riverside. And that was a month run. And then I did, right at the end of 1980, beginning of 81, Frankenstein, live at the Palace.
Oh.
Which was Frankenstein.
Yeah.
You know, on Broadway.
The original?
Yeah.
Or like something like that?
No, it was from the book.
Okay.
Which was part of its downfall because the book, The Monster Talks. And the critics all hated the fact that the monster talked. Oh. So they clobbered us, the reviews.
Who'd you play?
I played Dr. Frankenstein's younger brother.
Okay.
And I got killed on stage every night. The monster kills me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you get the acting experience for that. And
sure.
You know,
I
killed
was
on stage definitely gets...
oh, God, I was in the... I guess I was in 3 scenes. I was in the second scene in the first act, the last scene in the first act, and then the first scene in the second act, and that's when I get killed, and then I had to just go hang out for the rest of the show, and then I could take my my bow at the curtain call at the end.
So you come back at the end for the curtain call?
Oh,
for
sure.
the bow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, though. Well, I would feel like you have to make sure you're a part of that, even if the character's supposed to die on screen. Was it like Act 1, Act 2?
Yeah. But all characters, they all come back. Everybody comes back for the curtain call.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do, I did Oliver the Musical with my sister. And, as you know, Nancy, she dies.
Shani Wallace, or whomever in this case. Go ahead.
Or just anyone that was playing her in the musical.
Of course.
And then the same with Bill Sykes.
Bill Sykes.
Sykes. Did I say that?
You did the show, and I know the characters. We're doing good.
I swear, I just said Sykes.
Sykes, exactly.
Sykes, got it. They both die, but then when the curtain calls and everything, they come back up. Yeah, it's nice though because you have that emotion where you're starting to cry, from watching the show and everything. But then they're back again. They're
of
alive.
course. Well,
just not in the movie or anything.
Nobody cries when Bill Sykes dies. We all cry when Well,
when not in the movie.
Dies.
Me and my sister do. Have you seen who played that guy? He's sexy.
It's
in the
Oliver
movie.
Reed. It's Oliver Reed.
Is that the one that plays Bill Sykes?
Yeah, Bill Sykes is Oliver Reed.
He's hot in the movie, okay? That's all I'm saying. So I cry when he dies.
His last movie was Gladiator.
I've never seen that.
With Russell Crowe?
Never
you have
seen
to
it.
see Gladiator.
I guess so. You're going to text me a lot of movies to watch this
So
weekend.
who's ever out there, somebody's got to send it to the Facebook. Tell her she's got to see Gladiator. Great
Everybody's
movie.
Gonna message me that. Gladiator?
Great. The Gladiator.
What is it about?
Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, but what is it about? You're just naming names.
Okay, well, Russell Crowe plays Maximus, who is the head general for the head of Rome, for the, what do they call him? Now my brain is just fried.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, no, the head of Rome
Gladiator.
is
Is it like an
king.
alien movie?
No, it's based on Roman times.
Oh, Egyptian.
Roman times.
Roman times.
Roman.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Rome. So he plays the head general, and Joaquin Phoenix is the son.
Is it history?
Not exactly. It's a very loose thing of what happened.
Okay, then I'll probably watch it. I just don't like
it's
history.
great.
Okay.
No, it's phenomenal.
Okay, well, I guess I'll watch it this week then. I guess I'm going to have to.
Great movie.
Okay. So, getting back a little bit to where you said you did off-Broadway and Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get your Broadway gigs? Was it from
Audition.
Marion?
Yeah. Everything was through.
But she got you
Marion
the
and
gigs?
Carstad.
Or?
Well, she got me the auditions.
Okay.
Or they send you in for the auditions.
How do
Agents don't get you the job. You get the job.
Correct.
They negotiate
So,
the deal.
what do? They reach out to you and say, hey, I have a spot for you, or I have like an
You
audition.
have an audition on Wednesday at 1:30. Here's where you go.
That's it. They don't tell you what the audition's for?
Oh, no. I mean, sometimes they'll say it's for this or for that. And
Okay, you just made it like they were going to say.
Is there a script in advance? Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
What's up? Rosie's what? She's coming in. Okay. Is she here? All right, come on in. Here, she can sit here. She can go here.
Brown chair next to her.
Am I walking behind? All right.
The brown chair.
I think my sister wants to.
And use that microphone
Yeah.
right there.
My sister is coming a part of the.
So sometimes you get the scripts in advance, and sometimes you don't. You just get it when you're there, and you quickly read over it, and then you go in and you give your reading, and you're done.
Sorry, the bug just came up. Okay, we have.
Is this on?
We have Rosie with us. This is DJ Rosie. We used to do a show together.
DJ
What was it? A couple years ago?
Yeah.
It was our name was Music with Danny and
came up
Rosie.
with that?
I don't know, but it was just music because it wasn't gonna work. But,
Okay.
All right, so we're talking about his off Broadway. So do you want to?
What?
Did you have anything you want to input on that? Because he did on Broadway and off Broadway.
I think that's cool. Did you ever do like musical stuff, or you only did acting?
No, I did acting. I didn't do any musical stuff. I was
Can't
never
sing?
really a dancer. I can sing okay. I'm not a dancer, so it's kind of tough to do musical theater and not dance.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's a triple threat type thing.
Yeah, forget
Dancing,
it.
singing, acting.
Hey, but
I have
that's,
2 left feet. Forget it.
I don't believe that. I'm sure you can sing. Maybe like a little bit.
I can sing a little bit. 2 left feet is dancing, but okay, we'll let it slide.
No, I meant both. I meant either singing or dancing.
No, I can't do the dancing part.
Okay.
Forget
Well, the
it.
singing, that's good. But I think that's... So then jumping up from Broadway and everything else that you've worked on, how did you... So I'm guessing Marianne and Nancy, they got you the audition for the Christmas Story? Or
No,
did
actually,
that-
the first movie I did was The Toy.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
was the first one.
The one
Talk
for
about
Richard
the
Pryor?
toy first.
Okay, we'll talk about
Yeah.
that.
So it was just to go in, and it was a cattle call. There were 400 kids there. And you just basically went in, and they said, can you slate for me? Hi, I'm Scott. I'm with Carson Adler, How old are you? Whatever. Okay, Do you know who Richard Pryor and Jackie Gleason are? Yes. Okay, thanks for coming in. And you go home. That was it.
That was
the whole thing.
Did it include anything, the way that you were talking or something that they were looking for?
No.
Through the audition?
No. It was just they want to see
No
for
acting?
natural. Nothing. Then I came back the second time. And then it was, okay, so we remember you from last time, and you knew Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor from, okay, so what do you know them from? Okay, so I knew Jackie Gleason from The Honeymooners and from Smokey and the Bandit, and, Richard Pryor from Stir Crazy, and Silver Streak, and, okay. And it was, do you know who Richard Donner is? Uh-huh. The director of Superman, Okay. How do you know so much about movies? And I just talked about that I went to a film club with my dad, and they're like, oh, well, who's your favorite actor, actress? I'm like, Humphrey Bogart, James Cagney, Al Jolson. They're like, okay, wait a minute. You're 13 years old. How do you know who Al Jolson? Then we got into this whole thing. Okay, thanks a lot for coming in. And then, you go for another one, they give you a script.
Actual slides.
So then you
That's the
get
script.
sides, and
Okay.
you do, one little scene. Okay, thanks for coming in.
So
and then
which one would you consider the callback? Where you got the scripts? Like you got
No, the
another
second
one?
time. No, it was 8 casting calls before I actually got to my screen test.
Oh, okay.
No, it was 8 casting calls before I got
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Oh my
to the screen
goodness
test
gracious.
part. And then I actually did 2 screen tests. The first one I did was in New York, and it was just video. Mm-hmm. And they had me do, tell jokes and other stuff like that to see if I could handle ad-libbing or like a Richard Pryor comedy humor kind of thing. Okay, fine. And then the second screen test was in California, and that was it was myself, Henry Thomas, who was in E.T., played a little boy in E.T.
Okay.
And then they had a kid that won the Toys R Us Jackie Gleason lookalike contest. And they were going to see if maybe they could pick a kid out of nowhere who looked like Jackie Gleason who could act. Well, that didn't work either. So,
So exactly, I was gonna say with your, when you had all these auditions coming up to the 8 callbacks, though, like just getting back to that, exactly. Within some of the stuff, was there ever any besides the script where your acting came involved? Like they were looking at that too. Was that part of it?
well, yeah,
Besides,
because
like-
you're reading the script. So
Yeah, that's where you would.
you got to
take upon the
memorize a little bit of
character.
script, and you kind of,
You would take upon the character,
Yeah, he was.
like a different voice or something.
No.
Just
I
yourself?
mean, they kind of explained it to me. They said, listen, Eric is not, he's a regular kid who just wants to be loved.
Okay.
He gets sent away to military school, but he's not really a military kid. His dad just misunderstood, and he just wants his father to love him. That's really what the character is. It's just, this poor soul, but he's actually a good kid.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, so it wasn't.
Like an easy role kind of
Yeah.
thing?
It wasn't, I wasn't playing Othello. I'm not playing Shakespeare, He was just kind of a regular, fun, bratty kid, and it was okay. It was,
So it was easier for you, like,
for
to
me,
get
it was,
character.
yeah.
There was nothing about it.
Did they have you read with anybody at any point? Like
The
how
screen
they
test.
pair up
My
people?
the screen test in California, I read with one of the two black guys who were the jive guys in Airplane.
Ah.
Have a clue who that is, but
Airplane? Is that?
they know who it is out there, but you have no idea what
I don't know.
Airplane
I thought
is.
I just watched that movie with my dad.
We're gonna have. Hey Pop, did she watch the movie with you?
I think
They're
I did.
laughing out there. Okay.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I really don't know if she did, but I know I saw the movie.
Well,
when
yes,
were
we know
dating.
you
Airplane,
did.
is that the one with the blow
The
up?
airplane.
Yes, with the blow
Yeah.
up. The
Okay.
thing that,
I saw that with you
the
then.
two jive guys. Shit, man, but only miss about
Yeah,
we got
okay,
to run
I
a
know
cool
who-
upside
alright, got
down
you.
his head. He home, I can dig it. He ain't gonna let no big rap on you, man. Some say I won't say pretty. Gee, I get the same old, same old.
So you do
Knock yourself
voiceover
a pro.
stuff?
Oh, I've done
It's
everything.
not supposed to make sense. It's the way people talk. It's
The
called
jive.
jive.
Yeah.
right?
The
Okay.
jive talk.
No, I was like, I
So-
watched that movie.
Right.
So.
One of the two guys, the thinner of the two guys that was on the aisle seat, he actually read with me. He did the reading with me for my screen test.
Okay.
And because I knew the movie and was a fanatic, it made it that much more fun. And it made it go that much easier for me to just let loose. I had no
Have fun-
problem.
Yep. And have fun with it and everything.
Oh, I had a blast.
Now, my friend Kevin, he said, I speak jive, and then he wanted to let you know that the toy is a gem and it's definitely a favorite of his.
That's good.
So,
I like the toy too. I mean, you can't make it nowadays because, the basis is it's a rich white guy who's got a bratty son who sees Richard Pryor in a toy store and wants to buy him.
Yep. I can see
So
why
now
that
it
would be a
becomes
problem.
the whole, is it like a slavery thing? And I mean, I've told people, I said,
Oh,
listen,
yeah,
I said, if
well,
anybody's going to pay you
we're remaking it.
$3,000 to play with a kid for a week, that's not slavery, okay? That's not like Taco Bell money, all right? So,
So when you got the role, what was your experience like working on that? That being your first big movie acting gig.
the first day was a disaster. After that, everything else went fine. That's what it was. Richard Pryor made it easy. He took me under his wing, taught me, showed me.
That's nice.
Jackie Gleason. There was an old myth, which was true, that he hated working with kids and animals. Mm-hmm. And I was told this.
he hated working with kids.
Hated working with kids and animals.
Okay.
So they tell me this going in. Okay. He hates working with kids and animals.
Yeah.
So I get the movie, and we're down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we're all going to Mr. Gleason's suite he has a presidential suite at the Hilton.
Wow.
Every Hilton he ever stayed at, he stayed in the presidential suite. He was friends with the Hiltons. His name goes on the board, the presidential suite. I don't care who's staying there; they're getting the hell out because Mr.
He gets
Gleason
presidential
it.
suite.
So it's like a 14-seat table that we're sitting at, and I did all the Smokey and the Bandit stuff. You're not going to know any of this, but that's all right.
I know
So-
of Smoking and the
You know
Bandit,
of
but I
Smokey and the
know
Bandit,
that
okay.
I'm a little. It's
So he did this character, Sheriff Buford T. Justice, and Buford T. Justice was a wacko. So, and Richard Donner, the director, knew that I knew all of it. So he turns around. My mom is calling. I'll have to call her back. So I should have answered it. That should have been funny. So
you could have responded. I feel if she calls again, you have to.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So Richard Donner looks at me, not even hello, this is Scott, he's going to play your son, none of that stuff. This is Mr. Gleason, he's going to play your dad. No. Richard Donner goes, Scotty, get up and do that that sheriff thing that you do. And I'm 5 foot, what was I? No, I was 4'6" and I weighed about 52 pounds. And I walked over to Jackie Gleason. He's still taller than me. I'm standing up. He's sitting down. He's still on. And I just walked over to him and I go, "There's no way No way that you could come from my loins. Soon as I get home, first thing I'm going to do is punch your mama in the mouth, which is his lines from the movie. He starts laughing. That was it. I had him. And then I did a couple more minutes because that's what they wanted me to do. Okay, fine. They made the experience amazing for me because they all knew, even though I was 13 going on 14, mentally I was beyond those years, especially when it came to movies, because I had grown up around them in the theater with my dad, you know, or in the film club.
Yeah.
So it's one thing when you go to talk to somebody and you're talking like today, oh, Robert Downey Jr. this or George Clooney that. No, I'm 13 years old and I'm talking about Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, Al Jolson, George Raft, James Cagney, Yankee Doodle Dandy, the Ten Commandments. And I'm 13 years old. They're like, oh, my God. So they all talked to me. They all were cool with me.
And they socialized with you. That's awesome. That's good.
It made it an incredible. Listen, I'm standing in front. This was great. I'm standing in front of Ray Stark. We were on the set maybe about a week or so. You have no idea who Ray Stark was. He was a producer. He produced all of Barbra Streisand's movies. So he did The Way We Were. He did Funny Girl. Funny.
Oh, I know Funny Girl.
All of them, Yeah. So we're standing in line at the lunch truck. Okay. And and Ray Stark is standing behind me. And I started singing Barbra Streisand. I'm just standing, memory like the corners of my life. And he's going, what are you singing? Because that's not the music of the day, and it's certainly not the music that a 13-year-old should be singing.
Exactly.
And I mean, I did like 3 verses while we were waiting to get the food, and he was cracking up, And then the next day I did the main event with Barbra Streisand. Every other day I was doing something Streisand or whatever. It was hysterical. And so we all just had fun.
And socialized on set. That's amazing, though, because you want to have that. You want to have that feel with everyone in the movie. And are you close with some people still from the movie?
Yeah.
What did you talk to?
Fancy Bates.
Okay.
The blonde that plays Jackie Gleason's wife.
Okay.
Her name's Teresa Ganzel. She lives in L.A. We're still good friends. Every summer we get together for a cup of coffee. Or if she's doing a reading, I'll go see her. We talk on Facebook or what. Oh, yeah, she's still around.
Okay.
That's really nice.
Everybody else is pretty much gone. Although Richard Donner, who was a director, he's still around. I still see him. Once every couple months, at least, if not more often, I try and get down. They have a lunch in Beverly Hills, and I know where a bunch of people go, and he's there. So I'll go, and I'll say hi, and I get a hug and a kiss, and he calls me Junior. This is 30 all these years later, but...
Scott.
Yes.
I had one question for you. This is coming from a guy just watching a movie. Let's say when Peter Billingsley's mom, right? You were just talking
Different
about,
movie, but go ahead.
Whatever. No, the Christmas Story.
Yep.
Was she supposed to be a little sexual in that? Because I got that vibration from her in that movie.
No. Melinda is supposed to be just a very innocent, casual, caring, loving mom in the 40s.
But she was so pretty and she...
Wait, are you talking about the toy with
No.
Fancy Bates? No, you're talking about Christmas Story? Melinda Dillon?
Christmas Story.
Ralphie's mom.
Right.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay. Reading it wrong now. Okay.
I think that's just a guy's wishful thinking.
No, I really thought she was
Never
kind
even
of
thought of
sexual.
her that way.
It depends on the man.
In the movie?
But I could see why a man would assume that.
No, I don't. I mean, again, the toy, Fancy Bates, Teresa Gans. I mean, she's the sex pot with the big boobs, and she's got the dress and
That
the whole
makes more
thing.
sense.
Of course.
The other one was a typical
Yeah, no, she was a
housewife.
typical housewife in the 40s. And
So,
and the West.
one of my friends, Jimmy Deal, and I think Doc G,
Jimmy D, what's up?
and I think Doc G, my father, as well. They're asking about your the relationship with Priscilla.
Priscilla?
Priscilla. I'm sorry, they spelled it wrong. Presley. Priscilla.
Gang out there, I want to marry this woman. This is hysterical. The minute you see Presley, the only name that comes into my head is Priscilla, but she doesn't know that because of her age. I think.
No,
it's just so
I
cute.
know
It's
a
so
Priscilla
cute.
Presley, but
Priscilla Presley.
that does not. I
But
don't
Presley,
think
as long as you got
that's
Presley, whatever in front of it with a P is Priscilla.
There you go. Okay, now I know.
So what's my relationship with her? Is that what they said?
What was the relationship with Priscilla Presley?
I rep her for autograph shows and sometimes memorabilia signings and stuff like that. So I brought her
I
to
guess I
Chiller
just
one
want to know
time.
what your relationship with her is. So you're one of her
She's
reps.
my buddy.
Oh.
She's a darling. sweet, sweet woman.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I mean, it's like,
Stunning.
and how
Like,
can you even fathom
how the heck
what the
did you
last
rep her?
50 years? Well, no, the last 50 years of her life, if you think about it. She meets Elvis in late 58, early 59 in Germany. So, I mean, it's 60 years ago. And she's been associated with him ever since then. So it's most of her life to be associated with the king of rock and roll and the husband and the divorcee and the father of the child. And, I mean, carrying that torch, man, is just brutal. And she's still very, very calm and cool and grounded and nice and sweet.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to meet her one day. She seems very sweet.
Wonderful.
So definitely. Johnny C. again, he says that he thinks you're related to Robert Schwartz.
No.
And Robert Schwartz said, my daddy said I can have anything in the store and I want him. Is that a
Well,
line?
no, that's a line from the toy, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm.
My dad said I can have anything in the store, anything I want, anything
But
in the
Robert
store.
Schwartz commented that. So
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
funny.
So
That's
you're not related.
No, I'm not. Now, the funny part is my middle name is Robert.
Of course it is. Well, you learn something new
But I'm
every
like, no,
time.
I'm not related to him. But how you doing, Schwartz? Mr. Schwartz is Mr. Schwartz. Mr. Schwartz is Mr. Schwartz. Okay.
All right. Well, I think we're going to... You want to start with the Christmas story? You go first.
Well, I want to know, is this the point where you decided you 100% just wanted to act, like keep acting because of the movie experience, or did you already decide that's what you wanted to do before?
There was never that kind of decision that had to be made. I started doing commercials, and I was just getting work. I mean, I was, this is one of those questions that it's sort of like, it is what it is, and I don't toot my own horn. That's just not my personality, but it's kind of like, oh, whatever it is.
So you took what you were
Yeah,
given.
but in the matter of 3.5 years, I did over 130 commercials.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot of commercials,
what
okay?
brands? Was it
You
just-
name it, I did it. Northern Bathroom Tissue, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Honeycomb,
Wow.
Oreo cookies.
Chips Ahoy?
No, I never did Chips Ahoy.
Okay.
7-Up, Burger King.
McDonald's?
Yes, I did one because the Burger King just had run the 13 weeks or whatever. There was an old toy store called Lionel Kitty City, which in the things you still remember, it was myself and a girl named Allison Smith, who was Annie on Broadway.
Okay.
Wow.
So it was it was great. Her and I ended up doing a commercial together. Oh God, I did several 7-Ups.
Pringles?
HBO with Sugar Ray Leonard. Oh God, I'm telling you, it was
A
insane.
lot of brands.
Okay,
Just a
so
lot,
what was
yeah.
happening was, there was one casting director out of New York. His name was Steve Horn. I'd done a commercial for him, and to skip the whole situation, whatever it was, they had 12 kids in like a band, and we all had instruments, and I was the only one in the chorus in my school, so I was the only one who actually knew how to hold the instruments. They didn't know how to hold the instruments. Does anybody know? Okay, help them out. So I did it, and I ended up talking to Steve during lunch, and again, I was mentally beyond 9 years old. Great conversation. And the next thing I know, I go in another week later, and I'm at Steve Horn's again, and I get another commercial from Steve, and then another one, and another one. And every time I walked in that room, and there were 20 other kids sitting there for the audition, they went, oh, man. It was like, oh, geez, Scotty showed up. Okay, we can go home now. And I was booking almost every job.
Wow.
That's
He put me in
amazing.
like 30 spots over the course of that 3+ year span. I did
Is he one of your good friends still?
you know what? I don't know if he's alive. I gotta get up to go and just go to see if the agency
Well,
is still there.
Let's say we hope he's alive.
I gotta just find
Ooh.
out. He was just a great guy, and he booked me for a public service seatbelt commercial.
Okay.
And they had to fax the dialogue to the local place because we didn't have a fax machine at home. This is
Oh,
back
okay.
in,
Yeah,
this is
couple of- yeah.
80, got to be around late 81, early 82, because I started the toy in, no, it was late, it was like fall of 81, so I'm 13 plus whatever. And it's like, it's like a stack of dialogue. And you just got to go. And you got 29 seconds,
Now, was it like a monologue?
Yeah.
Dialogue?
Yeah.
Okay, or was there other actors?
No,
Okay.
it's me. They're setting it up. I'm out in a field, And I'm walking next to a fence and I'm talking to the camera, you know. Seatbelts can save lives every year, blah, blah, blah. My mom and my dad and blah, blah, blah. And my grandpa and grandma, blah, blah, blah. You know, my parents never thought about it, blah, blah. I live with my grandparents now. So the whole thing is they had a car accident. My parents are dead.
Dark.
Okay, so that's the setup of this whole thing.
Okay, got you. I was gonna.
So there's no audition. He sends me the dialogue. You got 29 seconds. And I had like a week to learn this thing. So I got a stopwatch, and I'm sitting there timing myself, memorizing this whole thing.
Yep.
You know. They were shooting in Westchester, New York. And my call time there was like 8 o'clock. So we left central New Jersey in Bridgewater, where I lived, 5:30 in the morning. And we get in the car.
By 8, yep.
I slept for like an hour and a half. Dad got me up at 7. We grabbed some McDonald's. I started going over the dialogue in my head with my stopwatch in the car. Okay, fine, we get there. I go through makeup, I go through hair, whatever. And Steve says to me, listen, don't stress. We got all day. We got another shoot we're going to pick up at 6 o'clock tonight. Until then, don't worry. I'm like, I have it down, Steve. Don't worry about it, you know. And we started at like 10 after 9. So they're like, okay, we're going to rehearse this. Okay, fine. So I said to the camera guy, who was the same camera guy on every commercial I'd done for Steve, I said, just walk up and down, just follow me up and down the fence. And he followed me up and down the fence. Okay, fine. So they laid out the dolly on the track and the whole thing. Okay, fine. So Steve goes, okay, listen, we got plenty of time. Let's just rehearse some. And I said, Steve, I'm ready. Let's just shoot it, man. You know. And the people there are there from, you know, Public Service Department and all this stuff. And he's like, listen, man, they're really picky. You know, if they don't have it dead perfect, you know, whatever, don't worry about it. Let's just, whatever.
You wanted faith in yourself. You knew you had it.
Let's just go. Okay.
Yeah.
So I do the first take, and I mean, it was dead perfect. And the camera guy's got my pace because he knows me, and we walk. Okay, fine. And Steve's like, okay. And he looks over at the people from Public Service, and they're all crying. I had
they
him.
got emotional.
I had him. Okay, fine. So, and it was like a 30 or 40-foot walk from my mark to the end and whatever. And don't ask me why. Some reason, as I was going back, there was a stick that was laying on the ground next to me. I picked it up. Whatever. So at the next take, I never thought about it much before. I needed my mom or dad. I live with my grandparents now. And I turned around and I threw the stick and my head went down. Well, here we go. And it's crying. And they're going, oh, my God, that's it. That's the one. And Steve's like, we have to shoot a couple more. And he's looking. He goes, it's 9:27. You know. So now he tells his first AD, call the office, tell them 3 o'clock.
For the ones that were
there was
supposed to
6 o'clock, no 3 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
Moved everybody. And, I mean, we did like 8 takes, and we were done.
So after did you have a feeling, though? You said you were just walking around and you saw the stick. Like, did you not know, like, you didn't have a feeling to
just
pick it up or
improv.
anything? It was just
something I did.
an improv. Like,
Just
just
something I did.
And it
he
made
loved
it, like,
oh,
like,
yeah.
perfect.
It was to seal the deal. That was it.
That's awesome. Hey, is that commercial still around?
I wish I could find it.
I was just going to ask, can I see
If
it?
somebody's out there and wants to go crazy looking at, 1980s public service seatbelt commercials and somebody finds it, find me on Facebook, man. I'd love to have it. Oh my! I'm sure they probably got it in the archives.
Yeah.
Or
something.
One of them.
They should give you a copy of everything you've done.
I don't have everything.
You haven't gotten a copy of every commercial
No.
you've ever done?
I don't think that works.
No, there
I thought you're
was
supposed to.
Reese's peanut butter cups. We shot it on the cliff of Englewood Cliffs, like on the cliff, like next to George Washington Bridge, the cliff.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like 20 feet from the top on
The cliff.
this cliff.
Yeah.
And it was hysterical because they had a guy go down there and he put, some spikes into the thing and whatever. And they lowered me down and they put me on there and they've got me belted in, but there's nobody there with me. The camera just came down on the crane in front of me.
Yeah.
And I stand there and I'm yelling. It's supposed to be like I'm in a cave or whatever. I go, Reese's! And then this voice goes, has gone nuts, nuts, nuts. I go, nuts?
Halloween. Was it Halloween?
I don't think so.
Oh, that sounds Halloween.
It was on twice
Okay.
during Puff the Magic Dragon on CBS, and I have it on VHS. And so it's great because you see Puff the Magic Dragon, and here comes my commercial.
You have it on the movie?
The Puff the Magic Dragon.
On the
Well,
movie
Well, yeah, but
VHS, I meant. Or-
yeah, I have it on
okay.
VHS. But we didn't actually tape the rest of the show at that point. I got rid of the rest of the show.
Okay, we're gonna. Can you play it, Father? All right, play it.
Hit it.
We're doing Cat of the Week real quick, and then we'll come back
New
with.
segment on the DJ Danny Show is Cats of the Week.
Meow.
I know we're gonna talk about that, but I want to know.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to.
Hello, everyone. We are in Cat of the Week. Today we have Scooter. Scooter is a senior kitty who loves long naps and snuggling next to you, gentle head scratches, and overall human company. He loves a good turkey plate alongside his human. He is a neat litter box user. He loves water, and he's a very low-maintenance cat. He isn't too playful. He likes the occasional sniff a catnip and a flat cat scratcher. He is a super sweet companion cat. Scooter Boy is around 11 years old, and we are hoping he can spend his golden years with someone who can show him unconditional love. If you're interested, please contact www.puppykittynycity.com and go to adoption. We're looking for adoptions, fostering, and transportation. Thank you.
Meow. Meow.
I hope the cat gets
No,
adopted.
seriously, every time I see a cat animal, it's just like the craziest thing. But go on, my sister. All right, so we know all about your commercial life now.
Yes.
Because I didn't even know he did commercials, okay? So I wanted to know that.
Most people do commercials.
Yeah,
well,
listen.
hey,
Brad
I've
Pitt
done-
did commercials. George Clooney did commercials.
Hey, I've done acting. I've never
Richard,
done a
you know.
commercial. You did commercials. I never did commercials.
I never filmed any commercials.
I thought you did.
I
What kind of
auditioned
commercials
for
are you
a
doing?
Shit ton. I auditioned
You did
for
iPop.
a shit ton of them.
Okay. I thought she
Like
I thought this was a
corn
kid show. What is
pops.
she saying?
iPop. What'd you say?
I said shit.
Oh, it's fine. It comes out of your butt.
The poopy.
It's okay.
the
It's
poopy
all right.
word.
The poopy. All right.
The
go.
poopy word.
You got her right on camera.
She got
But yeah,
the poopy
I
word.
auditioned for a bunch of them. That's old news. Anyway, after the toy, when did the opportunity for a Christmas Story audition come up?
I finished the toy in almost July, just the end of June, and then I booked another movie called Kidco that I started in October and got done the second week in December.
Okay.
And then the following January is when, the second week in January, I headed up to Canada to start Christmas Story. So, and that was 6 weeks.
And you already had the role at that point. But did you get a call and say, hey, audition for this, or did they just give it to you?
No, I finished Kidco, the second film for 20th Century Fox. The day we finished Kidco shooting it was the day the toy opened in the theaters.
Oh.
And it was Friday, of course, and by Sunday I was home from Tucson, Arizona, from Kidco. And I went in either that Tuesday or Wednesday, so it was, the 15th, 16th, something like that of December. And Bob Clark, the director of Christmas Story, had already seen the toy.
Oh.
So he knew I could do the role. He just wanted to meet me.
Oh, okay.
So it's like probably the easiest audition anybody could ever have. I walked in, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, listen, I just saw you. I saw the toy this weekend. You did a job. But okay, we just chit-chatted. Okay. And we got about 10 minutes, and he says, you know what? I didn't have any lunch. You want a hot dog? We're in Manhattan. Sure. Dirty water dog? Absolutely. You go downstairs, you get a dirty water dog, mustard kraut. Great. You have a Pepsi? Okay, fine. We talked. My dad was with us, so 3 of us. Okay, fine. Go back upstairs. It was great to meet you. That's the end of my audition. I walked up 6 blocks up to my agency, and I walked in, and Marion looked at me. She said, what did you do? I said, I didn't read anything. I just talked to Bob for a few minutes, He's like, oh, great. You got the movie. You called already.
Oh.
That was it.
That's awesome.
And he gave you that role.
Yeah.
So it technically seems like back then it was easier to do auditions versus where it is now.
No.
Because you just make conversation with people. Well,
That's
that's
only
what
if
some
they're
of yours
familiar
were.
with you.
Because they
Yeah.
became familiar with me. Or, again, like in Bob Clark's case, he wanted natural kids. He didn't want, hi, my name is Scott Schwartz. I'm from Carson Adler. I'm 13. Blah, blah. They didn't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wanted regular kids. And Steve Horn, when I started with him, it was, you go in and, hi, I'm Scott Schwartz, and I'm 10 years old, and I'm, Carson Adler age, whatever. So you basically do your slate, and then you read whatever the dialogue is for the thing, and then you go. But once you get a rapport with somebody, the game changes, which is like
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
They're familiar with you.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through
Well,
the...
they
Yeah.
got familiar with you.
ropes
That's
like
what I
you
meant.
might.
Yeah. So from starting the audition to where you led to doing your role, when did you start doing your, scenes? Some of the scenes right after. Was it a couple weeks after, or How'd that work?
From what?
From the
Christmas Story?
audition. Yeah, for Christmas Story.
I saw him on the 16th of December, and I think I was in Canada like the third week in January, so it was about a month later. Okay. You know, they had me come in like around the 5th or 6th of January. I had to go into New York for a wardrobe fitting, which really wasn't a wardrobe fitting. It was just basically they needed my sizes because they were renting all of the wardrobe from a place.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, all of our wardrobe
Okay, stop being
was
sisterly.
rented.
Holy cow.
It was all just rented
I can't
stuff.
stand that stuff.
You know, like the toy,
Yes.
my military uniform, they literally sized me and made that uniform to fit me.
Wow.
The motorcycle outfit was made to fit me. You know, but I mean, I had T-shirts and other shirts, and they were just okay, kids small. That was easy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but
I didn't
the
know.
few pieces that I needed,
So for
you
the
know,
Christmas Story.
that was all rented stuff.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now-
you learn something new every day.
Making that movie, what was the experience like?
Cold.
Besides cold, was it fun? Were the people nice?
Did you enjoy
The
working
people
with
were
other
nice.
people on set?
Yeah, but it was just different, okay?
Okay.
I do the toy, and it was 90 degrees in Louisiana with Gleason and Pryor and Richard Donner
Yeah,
and Ray
so
Stark
it's-
and the rest of the gang. Okay. And then I do Kidco, and it's Arizona. And it's great, and okay, and I mean, the other kids were fine, and everything was great. Okay, good. And I was running the show. It was really funny. But I get to Christmas Story, and it's 20 below zero in Canada.
Oh my god.
So there is no go outside, have fun.
Yeah.
That just didn't exist. They didn't even, when we were in Cleveland, it was so bad, they didn't want us to leave the hotel. When the sun went down, please do not leave the hotel. Because crime was rampant in Cleveland, you know, at that time.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get something ordered in, if you need to get some food, you have it ordered in, please don't leave, you know. Even with a parent or a guardian, don't leave. It was that bad.
Yeah.
Now, Higbee's, the department store, it was through the hallway for our hotel. They were connected.
Oh, okay.
So the hotel, you just went downstairs and you took the walkway down and around, and that was the Higbee's.
Nice.
So when they were shooting the whole Santa, you know, the scene with Santa, ho, 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 I want a Red Ryder carbine action, all that.
Yeah.
So the slide scene,
Yeah.
it was only 200 feet away, you know, on the walkway, which was inside.
Yeah, so you just had to walk down.
Absolutely, go downstairs and you walk over and
probably
you can
love
get whatever
that
you want to
scene,
eat. Oh, I had nothing to do with it, but I got to just hang out, and you go to the craft services at 10 o'clock at night, and you can eat what you want, you know.
Nice.
Okay.
So it was great. But from the standpoint of having fun while you're shooting, oh no, it was just torture. You know, 20,
being
25 below.
Did you not feel like you were wearing enough clothes? I know they had you bundled
I
up
don't
pretty
think
well. I think Ralphie
They
was
had us bundled
more.
up, but they had hand warmers, which they don't even have in New Jersey. It's a Canadian thing.
Okay.
You take them, it's just a little sack, and you flick them, and they turn hot.
I used them for when I did the Italian Irish Princess
But they're
Parade,
only
yeah.
good for like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I was out there 11 hours. And the
Ooh.
gloves that they used were from the time frame. They were
Okay.
just pieces of leather. There's no insulation on the inside.
Oh, wow.
It's just wearing leather. What happens when leather gets cold and wet? It freezes. So they put the hand warmers inside, and they wrapped
Yeah.
tape around the gloves so they wouldn't come off. But of course, every 40 minutes they weren't changing the hand warmer.
Yeah.
So that was bad. We did have battery operated socks,
Cool.
Okay.
you know, which were okay.
Oh.
But even them, because you're running them at high, and you're using C batteries. So in a half an hour, it's all over
But they were keeping your feet warm?
to some degree.
Okay.
You know, the
Okay.
toes ended up
So they really
cold.
try to think of everything.
They tried to think of everything. Didn't make a difference. We still froze anyway.
Aside
know.
from it being cold, did you get along with the other kids?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody was
I mean,
friends.
Were you, like,
Peter
working with
Billingsley, who
people?
played Ralphie, he and I were buddies, and we're still buddies, and that's good. The little brother, Randy, you know, he was the biggest age difference, you know, so we really didn't hang out with him because he was only like 7.5 years old or something.
But you mean
they-
youngest?
Yeah, he was the youngest.
Oh, you said biggest.
No, he means as in they were way older and he was the
He was the
youngest.
little, yeah.
He was the youngest. Yeah.
Biggest doesn't mean he's the oldest.
That's why I was.
They didn't want us to hang out with the bullies at all
Oh,
because they wanted us to be
To be a natural
scared
enemy
of
thing.
the bullies.
that
you know?
sucks because the bullies are the best too.
Well, I mean, as it ends up, I ended up reconnecting 5 years later with Scott Farkas.
Okay.
And
Which one was he?
Zach,
one with
he
the
was
raccoon
the
thing.
raccoon hair with
okay.
the yellow
The
eyes.
red hair,
Exactly. And he was doing a show in Canada, and I called the production office, and I talked to him, whatever. He was coming out to L.A. So we reconnected, and we've been the best of friends ever since.
Oh, okay. That's good.
The little bully, Grover Dill, Yana Wanai, he's down in Atlanta. He's a workout guy. You know, he's one of those, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Body?
he's a monster.
Oh, bodybuilder?
Not really a bodybuilder, but he's
Muscle?
built like a brick. You know what I mean? He's a built boy.
Okay.
But he's only like 5'6", you know.
So
but
he's
I'll
short.
take him in a fight with almost anybody. So I mean, most of us all still talk.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to everybody. It's not like everybody else talks to
Of
everybody.
course,
but
yeah.
you know, so it's formed some great friendships, and the
Did you get to meet the parents and stuff too? Like Ralphie's
Sure.
parents? The dad, right?
I
Who's
wanted
the
to
dad?
know if the dad is. Well, it's not like he seemed mean, but he did seem like he
Was
would,
he, tempered control?
would be a rough.
Was he a nice person?
I talked to him twice. He seemed like a nice man. Yeah.
Okay.
And the mom, Melinda Dillon, wonderful, wonderful, sweet
she
lady.
Seems really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all need that leg lamp now.
Yeah, there you go.
All
Make
right.
them some more money.
Now, the number one question that you always get, but I'm sure other people don't know the answer to: did your tongue get
Stuck on the pole.
actually get stuck to the pole?
No, it's a plastic pole, and there's a hole in it, and it's about the size of your pinky nail. It's a really small hole, and they put a tube on the inside, and they put it into the snow where they buried a small motor. So it's like a small vacuum cleaner, basically.
Okay.
So you put your tongue up there, and it just got stuck. It's like if you take your hand and you put it on the vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same concept, just much smaller.
Okay. Well,
And there were takes when I popped it myself off by accident, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep going, whatever. I would do it again. You know, it happens.
So it was generally easy to get in and out of.
Yes.
So for double dog daring. For
was.
being
Of
double
course.
dog
Yeah,
daring.
but it does work. Don't do it. I've met 4 or 5 that have done it over the years.
Stuck their tongue
Did
on the
they-
pole
Oh,
or the
yeah.
vacuum?
No, stuck their
No,
tongues
they
to
really
real poles.
Did. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time
Rip
every time I watch that scene, I cringe. I'm sorry.
Did it rip their tongue open when they did it?
Oh, absolutely. The kid there was one that was in the Chicago area like a year or 2 ago.
Is that the one that sent you a gift?
He's the one that showed up at the movie theater.
Oh.
He tore his. He
I
just tore his
remember.
tongue off. But there was like another kid in Saskatchewan, up in Canada, and he was actually smart enough to have a buddy of his with him. So when he did it and it worked, he told his buddy, "Go get
Yeah.
The cop?
hot water."
Oh, okay.
No, and the
And
guy got
melted
like
it.
a small thing of hot water and brought it back over and poured it onto the pole, and it got him just enough so he could pull away.
But the
That
other
still
guy
sounds so
does
painful.
Oh, the
not-
other guys just straight off ripped it off, and it ripped their tongues. You know, they
he
bled. And
doesn't
whatever.
have a tongue at all anymore.
Oh no,
Or
just
still?
No,
a
he still has a
piece
tongue.
of skin just came off the tongue.
ew.
Oh my gosh, Rosie.
I
I gotta
can't
rip your
imagine
tongue
that.
off that crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy at all. But no, I'm glad that you enjoyed everyone that you worked with and you're still close with some of them too.
Yeah, no, I
To
bet.
this day and everything.
Personalities are everything, and sometimes you work with people that are just total assholes. Excuse my French, but that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And other times, you work with people that are wonderful. And I had very, very few people that were just not good people.
And-
I guess I could say I was very lucky, but at the same time,
You were?
I was.
could
But
be.
it had probably something to do with my personality. I wasn't a jerk kid. I was the guy everybody wanted to hang out with because I made jokes all day long and I had fun.
Yeah.
And you were mature for your age,
Yeah.
like with your movie taste and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
That is really cool. Now, how old were you when you did Christmas Story? Because you were 13 when you did the toy, right?
Yeah, I did Christmas Story the following, February, January, February. To
So
the
you're
other
still
month.
13?
No, I was 14 already. But
Oh, you were
I was 3 months. I was literally a couple months from 15.
Oh, okay.
My birthday's in May, so I was just a couple months from 15 at that point. People are like, "Oh my God, you look so giant." I was always small.
Yeah.
When I did
short. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did the toy. I was 4'6", and I weighed like 52 pounds when I started that movie. And people going, "You were how old?" I'm like, "Yeah, I already had my bar mitzvah." I was already 13, going on 14.
Yeah.
I had my birthday while we were doing it, so it is what it is.
Now, I know you're also writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
What is your book?
Should be out. Well, now it's going to be out next year because it's going to be a holiday, September or whatever.
Okay.
It's
so-
called Whatever Happened to Me,
Okay.
and it's the good, the great, the bad, the ugly.
about your life?
Mm-hmm. Life experiences, the good, the great, the bad, the ugly.
Okay.
I don't sugarcoat
That's a good way
nothing.
to
I don't
name it.
sugarcoat nothing. I mean, there'll be a lot of people find me on Facebook or see me at shows and stuff like that, and they know I'm pretty much a straight shooter, and I say kind of the way it is, and I don't, kind of like, pussyfoot around. Nothing. Nope, this is what happened. There'll be a few people in the book who really probably won't like it, but they're not going to argue too much, and I really don't care. And most people, hopefully, that are in the book will like it. I don't speak badly of many people. There's a couple.
So it's just like a lot that you dealt with, the good, the bad, the ugly of your
experiences, people I've met, the craziness to the
bad auditions. Have you ever had a bad audition?
Not a bad audition. I had a bad commercial. I couldn't remember the dialogue. The only time it ever happened to me, I just went and I just drew a blank. It was the strangest thing ever.
So what happened?
I
Did
went
they let
in.
you redo the commercial?
No, I went in. I tried it for a couple of hours. They tried to get this thing done.
Yeah.
My dialogue for a couple of hours, and nothing was coming out. It would just blah, blah, blah. It's
know.
one of those, you screw the pooch, and you're just like, okay, moving on. And at lunch, they said, listen, we can't do this no more, so we're just going to replace you and have a nice day, and that was the end of that.
That's sad.
It was a commercial, but it was the strangest thing. Did I know the dialogue before I got there? Yeah. What happened? I couldn't tell you.
Did it feel like maybe
Mine went
you were
blank.
thinking of it too much, like when you're about to take a test or something? Like
I'd done 40 commercials already or whatever.
I know that. I don't know.
It's basically like being a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
And every day, you come in and you go, okay, children, it's playtime. And then the next thing, it's okay, we're going to play with the coloring books. So that's what doing commercials for me were. It was automatic.
It was just easy.
It was
yeah.
automatic.
So
I get to this, and it was like I fell into a cave, and I couldn't get out of it. I drew a blank.
So strange.
Yeah.
Yep,
that is.
and it never happened again. That
Maybe it
never
was-
happened
I
again.
don't know.
Stranger.
Maybe it was supposed
Maybe it was
to
just
happen.
an off day.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a day where your brain wasn't connected.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Still don't know.
Yeah. No.
Now, back to your book. How long did it take you to write this?
More or less, almost 2 years, I guess, from when I started. I had a ghostwriter do it. So basically, he asked me questions because I don't know how to write a book.
Yeah.
So he would ask me questions, and I would tell stories and expound on the whole thing and whatever. And next thing you know, an hour's gone by. So then he started writing it. A little ways in, and then we just kept going.
And what made you decide to do a book?
After 10 years of people telling me, dude, you got to write a book.
Finally
Okay,
go-
fine, I'll write a book.
Yeah.
And you start looking back, and when you network for 20 years, then it's 30 years, and it's going on 40. It's like, oh my God, okay, fine. And then you look at the people, you meet along the journey and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's a never-ending name-dropping contest. People they do that. The Kevin Bacon 7 degrees of separation thing or whatever, or 7 steps. I'm 2 from almost anybody. You name them, I can give you within 2 steps. That's how close I am to almost anybody,
Wow.
which is ridiculous.
Well, you were mentioning Susan Olsen earlier.
Yeah. Well, Susan Olsen and I have sat together at,
Good
some of the
friends, like
cons,
yourself,
and yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But, it's like, somebody thought they were being, they're gonna slip me up, right? So they go, Julia Roberts. And I said, okay. Julia Roberts is in a movie called Satisfaction. It's a girl band.
Okay.
The girl that plays the drummer, her name's Trini Alvarado. I went to high school with her. Next. He's like, dude, come on.
Oh my
Come
goodness
on.
gracious. Wow.
I said, okay, fine. And then he said Kevin Bacon. I said, that one's easy. Footloose. The other girl that plays, the main girl is Laurie Singer in the movie. Her girlfriend is Elizabeth Gorsey. That's her name. She's my sister in Kidco. Okay, next. I kept doing that.
Like you
and
have the communications. That's awesome. The
He just-
networking of it. No, it's crazy.
yeah, and it's like almost anybody.
All right, you got to name something. Come on. Doc G, name someone that
See,
you
if
think that he would know.
Because you mentioned George Clooney. You got anything for George Clooney?
George
You might
Clooney.
stumped him.
No, he
No?
did. He do something with stage? Well, of course he works with Julia Roberts, so I could go that way, which would only be 3. It would
Okay.
be 2. I'd be the
Okay.
third step from
Okay.
him.
Doc G, name someone.
Well, I'll say Scott Baio.
Really?
Yeah.
Scott Baio?
Well, he's a person.
He's a
He's
good
one-
person
one
or
of my-
he's a person?
He's one of my good friends. I play golf with him.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
They could have picked anybody. I'm like, really? Okay, I play golf with the guy.
Okay, well, let's see who else. Well, you said
You can't give don't give me like the young ones because that's not my generation.
Yeah,
It's got to be,
nobody from our years.
Somebody alive though, right? Or somebody that you knew that passed.
he doesn't know.
Christina Applegate?
I go to her house. I've known her since 1987.
Oh my god.
When I moved to California,
Yeah.
Ellie.
right after
Christina's beautiful.
Right
She's
after I
such a
moved,
great
right after
actress.
I moved out to L.A., but it was a few months earlier.
Yeah.
I was at an awards thing that they were having in L.A. for. I had won an award several years before that they never gave me. Didn't know anything about it. So finally somebody said, "Hey, you got to go get this." So this was the award show, whatever. And I was coming out to L.A. a couple months later, and before Who's the Boss, Alyssa Milano and I did auditions together in New York.
Okay.
So my dad always talked to her mom, whatever. So at the award ceremony, I was coming out to LA. I didn't know anybody out there. And so I ended up at the Milano's house because they had an extra bedroom and whatever. For 7-8 months, I stayed there.
Okay.
Well, their soundstage where they shot Who's the Boss was next door to Married with Children. So I played basketball with David Faustino all the time, and I hung with Christina, and I knew, Ed O'Neill, and he's still one of my friends, and David's a friend, and Christina's a friend.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a connection thing to Robin Williams?
Oh, I love Robin.
Like, ever know anybody that knew him or?
Okay, well, wait.
Oh, Robin. That's so hard. Or Sally Field.
No,
let him do
Robin.
Okay. Well, Sally Field.
Well, okay, so Robin Williams did Saturday Night Live during the 85 season with Anthony Michael Hall, and I was in high school with him and actually drove him.
Anthony Michael Hall.
I went to high school with him. So I actually drove him to NBC that day, and I was in the green room, and Robin Williams walked in, and we just started
My
shooting the
God,
bull
I've been
and
trying to
yippity
get
yap.
Anthony
he nice?
Michael Hall on my
It's
show.
very nice.
I heard he was such a nice person.
Yeah.
It's everything is different. It's because everybody's different.
Yes.
The minute I said, Robin, it's great, Richard has always spoke highly of you, and Richard Pryor, I said, did the tour with him. That was it. I was in. He knew exactly who I was. He's like, oh, you got to call Rich. I love that man. We get crazy together. So.
That's awesome. What about
Yeah.
Sally Field?
Okay, so Sally Field is Smokey the Bandit with Jackie Gleason, who played my dad in The Toy.
Oh my God, it's like a game.
Isn't it? My mom's seeing her Sunday, I think. Sally Field. I think she's trying to meet her. So
There
it's
you
crazy
go.
though. Wow. All right.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy. It's just nuts. People come up with names.
real
I'm like,
quick,
okay,
we got
this
to
one, this one,
start
this one.
wrapping up the show soon, but I want you to just give a little bit about Chiller and that you're going to be there, you're going to float.
Yeah,
us a little idea about what ChillerCon is.
Chiller Theater. It's this weekend in Parsippany at the Parsippany Hilton. You can go to chillertheater.com. It's a pop culture show, so they got 75, 80 celebrities there. They've got a reunion of The Warriors, the famed TV show, the cast of Banana Splits. Which
Field
is,
of Dreams, I think, is there too.
There's a Field of Dreams reunion. There's a guy named Mark Blankfield who I'm actually bringing in, and he was in
That's what you said.
Dracula Dead and Loving It, and Robin Hood, Men in Tights, and Jekyll and Hyde Together Again, and Cassandra Peterson, Elvira is going to be there, and Shirley Jones, and
Joyce DeWitt.
and Priscilla Barnes from Three's Company, and Sherry Curry and her sister Sandra Curry, who
Haley Mills.
Haley Mills and Juliet Mills.
Yes! Oh,
The
I'm so
twins,
excited.
the twin sisters, they're going to
Yes.
be there. But
I shouldn't know who
Sherry
Haley
Curry,
Mills is, but
Sherry Curry's
I
one
don't.
of my good friends. I love her to death,
Sherry?
and she was the lead singer in the girl band The Runaways.
Yeah. That
Cherry
is
Bomb.
The one that Joan
Cherry
Jett was a part of.
Bomb.
Oh, okay.
Joan Jett,
Cherry
Lita Ford,
Yeah.
and Sherry. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. All right, now I guess I'm meeting Sherry on top of it on
so-
Saturday. Okay.
So we'll be there Wednesday from 5 to 11. Saturday is 10 to 6, and Sunday is like 10 to
Did you mean
3-ish.
Friday at first? You said,
Friday.
You said Wednesday.
I'm sorry, folks. I meant to say Friday.
I
Yeah.
was like, Chiller's on.
Friday's 5 to 11.
Okay, there we go.
It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. No problem. Well, real quick, Scotty, just give out your social. Where can people find you?
Find me at a show. I don't really do the friends thing on Facebook if I don't really know them.
Do you
but
have your own personal Facebook though? Or
Yeah,
not
I don't-
a
No, I
fan
really don't
page?
have. No, I really don't.
We need to make you one.
There's somebody else made one, but it's not me.
Yeah, but we need
It's
to
like
make
a picture
Get in
of-
touch with him through it.
It's a picture of me with a dog, and it was taken at the Christmas Story house. I have nothing to do with the page, so I don't get any of the messages. I don't do nothing on that
But
page.
how do you want people to contact you? Like, for instance, if they're
Just
for like rap and stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like,
keep
how?
listening to shows, and you'll find me. And
I guess you're just gonna have to.
I'm gonna be.
continue
Well,
to
wait.
listen.
I'm gonna be in at the Philly show in King of Prussia at the casino on December 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a sports show. They've got. I mean, the big thing is they got Eric Lindros there, who used to be with the Flyers.
Okay.
And they've got a whole bunch of other. They got like 25 or 30 athletes there. So I'll be at that show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 6th, 7th, 8th. And the 10th, I will be in York, Pennsylvania at a collectible store. Couldn't tell you the name to save my life. And then the 11th, I will be in Flemington at A&R Collectibles. RNC Collectibles. I'm sorry, RNC Collectibles on Route 22 on the way to Flemington.
Wait, why does that say I got a rock?
It's a Halloween thing?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
It's Charlie Brown, right?
Okay.
It's just Halloween.
It's
ad.
just
Halloween.
a Halloween ad. Okay, I don't know. It's
DJ
just, has
Danny,
something to do
DJ
with you?
Danny just lost her lunch because she sees I got a rock. Oh my God, what happened?
Well, no, I didn't know if that was anything to do with you. I thought you planned that.
No, I don't
I just
have-
looked at the screen and it says I got a rock.
Oh my god.
No.
Maybe you're supposed to say that as a voiceover.
Am I supposed to say?
I don't know.
Can you smell what the rock is cooking? I mean, what was I supposed to say? Got a rock. It's on the television. What do you want me to do?
That's perfect. That's the best way to end the show. Thank you again so much, Scott, for being here. We're going to get pictures real quick before you leave.
Danielle, get a
Do you have
sweeper.
promo thing?
Okay.
Anything.
Oh, yes. Can we get a sweeper from you?
More free stuff. Whatever she wants,
You're going to say who you are. One of the
Who am
characters.
I?
So Scott Schwartz from Blake from the Christmas
From
Story.
blah blah blah.
And you're listening to the DJ Danny Show. And then the second one will be you're listening to Hamilton Radio.
We'll do one at a time.
Sure. Take your time. Whenever you're ready.
Hey, this is Scott Schwartz. I was Flick in the movie A Christmas Story, and you're listening to the DJ Danny Show. And then what's the second one?
Hamilton Radio.
You listening to Hamilton?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Scott Schwartz. I was Flick in the movie A Christmas Story, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, guys.
Peace. Miss Elizabeth says goodbye.
Oh, Miss Elizabeth.
Go home. It's over.
Have a good night.
Okay. We're going to get pictures.